Welcome to this episode of Parent Quick Smarts, Grade 3, Unit 10, Measurement, Elapsed Time, Length, Volume, and Mass. In this unit of study, students will tell and measure elapsed time, measure and graph length, including lengths to the nearest whole, half, and quarter inch, measure and estimate volume, measure and estimate mass. Third graders have worked with data in prior grades and earlier this school year. Children explored graphing and solving problems related to bar graphs, pictographs, and tally charts. Children have also experienced measuring lengths with whole units. They will now combine these skills to graph lengths. Data surrounds us in the real world and is used to make many conjectures and predictions. Think about weather, finances, advertising, and even stock prices. We can begin by making a connection and a need for data with the children. For example, asking the question, how far can third graders jump? Not everyone jumps the same. Some may jump further than others. We can use a line plot to record the distances. As each child in a class jumps, we can measure and record the distances. Looking at the data, we can ask many questions about the distances. How many students jumped? How many jumped further than 21 inches? Which distance was jumped most often? Children in third grade, while working with fractions in prior units, experience fractions on a number line. This understanding can be applied to finding length measures to the nearest whole, to the nearest half, or to the nearest fourth or quarter of a unit. They can then record the data for these lengths using a line plot. Children should continue to make the connection between equivalent fractions while finding these measurements. For example, understanding that 2/4 of an inch is actually the same length as 1/2 of an inch. Children will also continue their work with time measurement from first and second grade. In third grade, a learning goal is for children to be able to tell and write time to the nearest minute using both analog and digital clocks. They may also connect their knowledge of fractions to a clock. For example, we could say these clocks say it is 9:30, or we could say 9:30. You may recognize that 30 minutes are covered by half of the clock face. Besides telling time to the nearest minute, third graders will also solve problems involving elapsed time. One way to think of this is with a number line. For example, if we were solving the following problem, Taylor begins school at 8:15 and ends school at 5 minutes past 3. How long is Taylor in school? Children may use a number line to count on using jumps of minutes that make sense to them. Notice how each student used different intervals to count up from 8:15 to 5 minutes past 3. And they used the number line to keep track of their count. This strategy could also be used to find an unknown end time. In addition to measuring length, children also explore the measurements of liquid volume and mass. Children will mainly look for the amount of liquid a container can hold, measured in liters. They will also use grams and kilograms to measure the mass of items. They may also use a balance scale to compare the mass of items. For example, we can see that the mass of the bowling pin is greater than the mass of the knight. or that the mass of the erasers is equal to the mass of the clips. Children will use these measures of volume and mass to solve problems involving addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. For example, using the volumes of these two containers, what is the difference in the amount of water? Here are some questions that could help deepen your child's conceptual understanding of measurement. About how many hours do you sleep in a week? About how long will you be at school today? What do you think the mass of the milk in this container is? Will it be more or less than the mass of this book? About how long is this object? How close was your estimate to the actual length? How much water will fit into this container? How close was your estimate? There can be many connections in our daily lives to measurement and data. Compare the volume of different empty containers you may have by using water. Which could hold more, this milk jug or the sink? Compare the mass of items. Which has a greater mass, this cantaloupe or the shoes? Whenever you need to measure length, include your child. Make an estimate first before measuring. Remember the carpenter's old idiom, measure twice, cut once. To continue to work together to support your child in mathematics, please be sure to keep in communication with your child's teacher. You may also utilize the resources available on thinkcentral.com and be sure to visit the district's math webpage. See you next episode.